What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to the Future Series. I am your host, Jack Jablonski. Joining me is Kings prospect and Ontario Reign defenseman, Jordan Spence. Jordan, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Well, your story is obviously very interesting. You took a quite an unconventional path to get to where you are now. But it's also been one that you've credited on, being a part of the way you grew up and a big part of how you've gotten to where you are today. For those who might not be familiar with your journey to this point, where are you from and what stops have you made along the way?
Yeah, so just to start it off, I was born in Sydney, Australia. That's where I was born, and I was only there for a year or so. So after that, my parents decided to move back to Japan because my mom's Japanese. So I was pretty much raised there until I was 12 years old, and after that, I started my hockey career in Japan, and I would visit Prince Edward Island. That's where my dad used to live, to play spring hockey and summer hockey there. But besides that, I would mostly live in Japan throughout my whole life. And as it came to when I was 12 or 13, my parents have decided to move to PEI. So it's been a hell of a ride, and it's a pretty cool experience that I had as a young kid.
You mentioned you moved to Prince Edward Island, when you're 12 or 13 years old. And that's, where you really started to flourish in youth and minor league hockey as your career took off. But what I found interesting in researching is you didn't speak English at all, if very little at the most. But I think one of the cool things is, sports is the great equalizer. It teaches you how to be responsible, how to work with others, but it also teaches you how to communicate. How much did the game of hockey help you learn English and get comfortable with your peers?
Yeah, that's probably one of the challenges that I had to face when I moved to PEI, just with the language and how to communicate with pretty much everybody, to be honest, with my teachers at school, the coaches, my teammates, but especially when you're playing a sport and when you have to communicate on the ice, when you're playing hockey. That was one of the things that I had to kind of improve, really. So that's why, luckily for me, all the teammates that I've had in PEI when I was a young kid, they've all supported me, and they've all been really open and, for me to learn and kind of, just improve on my English, really. So it's been challenging at times, but it was pretty cool.
Well, you mentioned your teammates and how they helped you. You also helped your teammates out during your career, and obviously still do today. 2018-19, you were the QMJHL Rookie of the Year. You also led all defensemen, rookie defensemen in scoring and assists. 2019-2020 Defensive Player of the Year. When did you realize, that, hey, maybe I could make a living out of playing the game I love?
Yeah, well, obviously, when I was still growing up in Japan, that has been one of my goals, is to become a National Hockey League player.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
obviously, when I moved to PEI, that was still my goal, but I just had to make that adjustment to kind of adjust to the game of hockey in Canada. So that was a really big step for me, and to play the game that I am now. It really, improved throughout the seasons when I moved to PEI, and obviously I've had some accomplishments the past couple of years, but still right now I'm still trying to improve, and trying to improve on all aspects of the game, and that's been one of my goals since I was a young kid. So it's pretty cool, but the job's not done, so it's pretty exciting, and I'm really looking forward for the future.
Speaking of, being a young kid, what was the hockey scene like in Japan? How competitive was it? Where did you stand among the players and your peers?
Yeah, it was really different, actually. With practice wise, we would practice 5 times a week, which is kind of what you do in Canada. But the only thing that I kind of lacked when I was playing there was, games, and we didn't really have a lot of games. There wasn't a lot of teams that we had to play. We played against.
Oh, okay.
So that was one of the things that, I kind of had to learn when I moved to Canada, because obviously when you come here, the only one of the main one of the main thing is playing games, and
Yeah.
that's like your regular season and playoffs and all that. So for us, we had a regular season, but we didn't really have playoffs or anything. So there wasn't much game experience. But when I got to PEI, I kind of got the experience that I needed from PEI and kind of went from there.
Speaking of games, fast forward to the preseason this year. You go to Arizona rookie camp, have a strong showing, training camp, a few preseason games, all impressive showings on your end, including scoring a goal in one of the preseason games. What did you think you were able to showcase and show about your game that maybe management hadn't seen, or at least seen since COVID started?
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah, it was probably pretty tough right now, but I don't think when I got to the camp and the rookie camp and the development camp, I just wanted to just showcase my skill and how I play the game. And I think it was pretty difficult for the development coaches and even the Ontario coaches and everyone to watch me play in juniors, just because of COVID and everything. So this year was probably the only time that they kind of got to see me play a good amount of games and a good amount of practices. So for me, I just wanted to kind of showcase my skill and kind of just do the things that I do on the ice. And yeah, that was my goal. And that's what I'm still trying to do, is to just play my game and do well on the ice.
You're now in the Kings system. You've had your opportunity to showcase in the preseason games. You're currently on the Ontario Reign. For Kings fans and Reign fans, who is Jordan Spence on the ice?
Yeah, for me, I'm an offensive defenseman that takes care in the defensive zone as well. That's pretty important part of the game if you're in defenseman. So for me, I just wanted to go up with the puck, pass the puck as quick as possible to the forwards. And obviously in the defensive zone, I just want to make plays and kind of create chances that we have to capitalize on. And also, just do things well in the defensive zone and be right in the position and all that.
Now, your favorite player growing up was, potentially someday your future teammate, Drew Doughty. This year more than prior years, you have been, able to have that opportunity to spend a little bit more time around him. Stanley Cup winner twice, Olympic gold medalist twice, Norris Trophy winner. What have you learned or been able to connect with him on since you've been in this organization?
Yeah, well, obviously, right when I got drafted, I was pretty pumped that LA drafted me, and kind of my first year when I got to LA and experiencing the rookie camp, and obviously in the main camp, seeing all the NHL guys practicing and being able to go on the ice with them and practicing. It was really cool, and you dream about that, going on the ice with them, and obviously you want to play with them. But for me, right after I got drafted, it was pretty cool seeing Doughty, because he was one of my favorite player growing up. And this year, like seeing him again and kind of talking to him and how he, thinks of the game on the ice and off the ice, it's pretty cool. And for me to just kind of learn off from him, and all the success that he's been having, really is it's pretty incredible. And for me to kind of see that in real life, it's a dream. And obviously there's more things that I can learn from him, and I'm excited as well.
Well, we're a few games into the season here with the Reign, and you've knocked out your first point in your first game. But what are your goals for this season?
Yeah, for me, I just want to improve on my game, just all aspects of the game, in the offensive zone and the D zone as well. And for me, Chris Height has been great with me, and also so's Robo and CJ. So for me, I just want to work on my D zone a little bit, improve on that, and kind of get to know more about positioning and all the things that I have to do in the D zone, and the rest will take care of itself. But for me, I just want to be an impact player on the ice and a threat as well. So during the season, I'm just trying to look forward to that.
Now, before I let you go here, we're going to go through some rapid fire questions. Quick question, quick response. First hockey memory.
First hockey memory. Oh boy. I think it was in Japan going on the ice. Probably one of the first times with my dad, and he would just carry me.
Superstitions. Everyone in hockey is superstitious. What do you got going on?
For me, I have to always take a nap before a game. That's one of the things that I have to do.
Favorite meal from mom's cooking?
I have to go with sushi. I think my mom makes the best sushi.
That I envy. I wish I had some of that. But
Yeah.
Hidden talent.
I can speak Japanese. That's
Fair.
yeah.
And then the last one here, nickname.
Nickname. Most of the guys call me Spenny. Some other guys call me Spencey, Jordy, but usually Spenny.
Awesome. Well, Spenny, it's great to have you on future series. As a King fan and a Reign fan, I think I speak for everyone when I say best of luck the rest of the season. And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jack. I really appreciate for having me here.